Stay tuned for On Cue for KSMQ Public Television. I'm Eric Olson. We're going to speak with Raquel Hellman from the Hormel Institute about their work in biomedical research. And we meet a couple of firefighters from Austin. Then we'll chat with Johanna Rupprecht from the River Arts Alliance in Winona. It's all coming up next on Cue.
Local ideas that matter to you, sharing our region's unique point of view, telling the stories that you never knew. On Cue, on Cue, on Cue.
Hormel Institute is a biomedical research center located right here in Austin. Since founding in 1942, the Institute has been making significant discoveries aimed at improving the health of the world. Here with us to talk about the Hormel Institute is Marketing and Communications Manager Raquel Hellman. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
We read a lot of words in this business, and you say things like helping health in the world, and it kind of just sounds trite. Mm-hmm. But this place is actually doing that kind of work, a lot of it in cancer. Can you give us a little thumbnail overview for folks
absolutely.
that aren't that up to date on the place?
Yeah, so primarily cancer research, but our scientists also study other diseases, including Alzheimer's and even COVID in the past 2 years. And so we have more than 20 active labs, and each lab is studying something different. Breast cancer, lung cancer, pretty much any type of cancer you can think of is being studied in some way or has been at the Institute.
And the way this works, as I understand it, is you have a section leader who is a University of Minnesota professor, and then there are many, many researchers underneath who are getting grants and doing various tasks.
Yep, that's a good understanding of it. Each lab has a section leader, as you said, and we're all University of Minnesota employees. The Hormel Institute is part of the University of Minnesota, which I think not everybody understands that connection, but we are part of the U of M. And so, yes, and each lab has the lab leader, and then from there they have postdocs and other lab assistants and researchers of all different levels working within their laboratories.
And the difficulty for me, just to be honest, folks, is when I get a press release from the Hormel Institute, and I'd love to do a story about it, I don't understand. It's so technical. The work that they do in that place is so world renowned, but it's very technical and very specific to the science that they're working on. Sometimes it's hard to bring it down to the layman so that I can understand it. That's a job you have.
It is.
It's a toughie.
That's why they hired me.
Yes.
So I've only been there for a little less than a year now, so I'm still learning too. And that's one of the biggest challenges, is taking this amazing scientific work that they're doing and presenting it in a way that the general public can understand and comprehend what we're doing. So it's a work in progress. It's a learning experience.
And the scientists are from all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, who live in Austin, Argentina, Asia, China. Mm-hmm. There's some from the United States also. Mm-hmm. So there's a language challenge also for folks like me. I don't speak Mandarin. I don't speak Spanish or Portuguese, whatever. How do you do that work?
Yeah, and we have researchers from, I believe it's more than 18 countries now. So,
my goodness.
Right. So it can be challenging for sure. Luckily, a lot of a communication over email is really nice. I think when it's written, it might be easier to communicate some of their research that way. But that's definitely a challenge that we face every day. But I think all of us are pretty proactive at finding ways around that. So.
Because when they're in a very specific scientific study place, I've never worked with them, but I've worked with engineers in pollution control. And it's so finite, they don't really want to speak about any general terms. When I try to get somebody to do an interview on something, if it was this much removed from their area of expertise, they didn't feel qualified, which is laughable for somebody like me. But it's another challenge about getting information out.
Absolutely. I think you nailed that. It's very specific and it's very scientific. So right, they don't really want to stray from exactly what it is. And so there's a lot of back and forth when I'm writing a press release, for example, between myself and the scientists. I'll try to put it in terms that the general public can understand, but then I need to go back to them to say, okay, is this right? Did I translate this? Is it still accurate? Because I don't know, right? But we work together, and that's one of our big goals, is to improve that so that the general public can really start to understand better some of the research that's happening, because it's amazing stuff.
I apologize, dear viewer, but we're doing a little shop talk here, sort of what this is about, the challenges of distilling highly technical information to a general audience.
Yeah.
And, the person I know, section leader Ted Hinchcliffe, is wonderful at doing that. Mm-hmm. It's a real skill. And you have to develop those skills among those people. Will we be seeing more public opportunities coming forward, do you think?
Absolutely. We just actually talked about that this week. And so we do have some of our scientists are very skilled, Ted being one of them. But, public speaking isn't their background for the most part. Mm-hmm. So we are hoping to develop some possible trainings and some ways to help our scientists be more comfortable in that realm. And that's my background. And so I'm hoping I can bring that, and we can work together to do more public outreach. We have a whole new community outreach and education department that started about a year ago. And so we're working with community organizations, with the schools. So you'll definitely be seeing us a lot more, including our scientists out in the community.
Because the Institute has made major discoveries that impact lives. Talk about a few of them.
Oh, yeah. We recently had one of our scientists, Ben Liu, he used our cryo-EM, which is one of the most powerful microscopes in the world, to study the structure of the Omicron variant for COVID. And through this study, he was able to kind of understand why Omicron is impacting people that are vaccinated, and why, and that whole piece of it. And so that was a really interesting recent discovery that we had.
And another thing that you just touched on, mm-hmm. Raquel, is that these are always done, these research projects, with others in other places. Oh, yeah. It's a collaborative pursuit, which makes it difficult also to talk about, well, this happened in Austin, because yes, a part of it did, but it's also shared with many other scientists all over the planet. This microscope freezes things.
Yes.
So it slows down the molecule to see it. There's like a handful of them in the country. Yeah,
they're very rare. We're very fortunate to have one, and it is a big draw for scientists from all over the world to come to Austin, because we do have this technology, which is not common at all. And so we're very lucky to have that here in Austin.
And that may be growing, because scientists come here, use the equipment, and then go back and use what they found.
Yeah, we hope that can expand. We hope to be able to open up that part of our institution to more scientists in the future. That's definitely a big goal we have right now.
All right. Well, we'll be watching. I look on the website. Is that a primary communication device for the Institute, I would assume?
We just did some big upgrades to it, and we'll be doing more to make it a little more user-friendly and to kind of help bring the public to our website more. But yes, all the information you could want is on our website.
And you can get to that bypassing the U of M website.
Yep, we have our own website. Is it hi.umn.edu?
Okay.
I think that's right. Google the Hormel Institute.
That's the easiest way. Raquel Hellman, thank you very much for joining us. Don't be a stranger now that you're here. Come back and talk to us again.
Will do. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Joining me now, Troy Tigner and Ben Walker with the Austin City Fire Department. Welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
The quiet, safe people behind the scenes who help keep our community safe when there's fires or dangerous situations. How did you? Now you're relatively new now, a year in, mm-hmm. and how did you get involved?
So I got involved, I did the EMT class through Riverland last year, and I saw that Austin Fire they posted positions for part-time. So I thought, what the heck, I'll apply to it, and sure enough, I got through, and here I am now, I guess. So.
Did you
yeah.
like it growing up? Did you like it? Or how did you become thinking, oh, firefighting? Because it's dangerous, potentially dangerous work.
Potentially dangerous work. I mean, the way we do it, we're very safe about what we do. We care about our guys, so it's. But I more just saw, hey, it's a need in our community. I've heard that everybody's looking for police officers and firefighters right now, so I thought, well, I'll put my hat in, and if they want to pick me up, they will, and if they don't, they won't.
That's great.
So, yeah.
And when I was a kid, I watched that show Emergency. You remember that show?
Yeah.
Now, you probably weren't impacted by that, but how did you become involved as a youngster? Like, did you ever think about, I might want to be a firefighter, or did it come later to you?
I think I thought about it a little bit when, like fourth grade, when you had the firemen come for public education and stuff like that.
Sure.
But then I think, you probably forget about it as time goes on. And then I just had the chance, kind of like Ben, to start in '99, start out part-time. And I got hired there, and then I got hired full-time in 2005, so.
Yeah, Troy, you're quite a veteran in the Austin Fire Department. You've seen a lot of, no doubt, some changes in professionalism, technology, all that kind of thing that you have to keep up on.
Some of the gear's gotten better. The SCBAs that we wear.
Oh, wait, was that an acronym?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Self-contained breathing apparatus.
Okay.
Yeah. So just the technology's changed a lot, and actually how we fight fires now with the new construction of the lightweight construction with the homes and stuff like that. We do things a little different than we did probably when I first started.
Okay. So the materials that the homes are made of, if that impacts how you attack a fire, if
Absolutely.
It's going. Can you unpack that a little bit?
A lot of plastics. So, and the materials that the houses are built out of now, they're not dimensional lumber like they used to be and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff is glued with the trusses and stuff like that, so they can collapse a lot quicker once that glue starts to melt. It loses structural integrity quicker. So we do things a little bit different that way. And then there's plastics in the home everywhere, so high heat, it gives off more heat with the petroleum products of in the plastic, so the fires actually burn a little hotter than they used to. So,
is it less safe then for your fellow firefighters when you go in if it's hotter, or is it?
Potentially yes, but we try to put all the odds in our favor the best we can to keep it as safe as we can. I mean, we'll do a transitional attack, where we might hit it from the outside if we can see the fire or we have an idea where it is. We might hit it from the outside, cool it down for us, make it a little more tenable for us to go inside and then extinguish the fire. But we just do different things like that to keep the odds in our favor, to keep us safer.
Okay. And Ben, when you get called out onto the scene of a fire, is home fires the majority of fires, or not, or in town, or is it businesses, or is it a mixed bag? I don't know.
Residential.
Okay.
Residential home is probably.
So if you're on duty and you get called out, could you be doing anything at the scene, or do you have a certain set of, okay, this is my task, or does it just change depending on the scene?
So it can change depending on the scene. There's certain things that I can do and I've been trained to do, but I mean, there's certain things like I'm not going to be running the pump. I'm going to be going out and I'll be with either the first in team, or I might be, if I get there a little bit later, I might be, a backup team or a RIT team. So that's rapid intervention team.
Which means
if somebody is inside or one of our firefighters goes down, we have a RIT team to go in and potentially bring them air if they need air, or just to get them out of that situation, whatever it might be.
So there's somebody at the scene who will say to you when you arrive, okay, do this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, usually designated by incident command will let you know where you're going to be at, or whoever's in charge at the time.
Okay.
So.
Is it the first 5 minutes when you get there the most important, or is it you never know as far as knocking a fire down? Do you sit and assess it for a while and just like look, or you don't have time for that?
Well, when you arrive on scene, the incident commander will do a 360 and make sure that he sees all sides of the building, because a lot of times the way things look from the front aren't the way it's going in back or stuff like that. So we do what we call a size up. We do a 360. We walk around the building, and then we'll figure out our tactic from there. But yeah, I would say the first 5 to 7 minutes is crucial.
And there've been some biggies downtown.
Oh yeah.
In our day, did you happen to work on any of those
Yes.
fires? That frozen one
Yep,
in the
I
winter
was
time?
on that one. Yep, up
Talk
in
a
the ladder
little-
truck.
Do you remember? Talk a little bit about that
It was
event.
cold. I mean, we had, I don't know, 4 or 5 other departments in there. We had the ladder truck up, and it was, nothing works really well when it's that cold. I mean, we're dealing with water and a lot of mechanical moving parts, and so that was a definite challenge with the cold weather. I mean, it's hard on the guys and it's hard on the equipment too.
I can't remember the year offhand, but it was some. I'm putting you on the spot here too.
Yeah,
We
I
didn't
can't
talk about this.
quite
but
remember either. I want to.
it was the pictures I remember.
Yes.
Right on Main Street there.
Yes, everything frozen in ice and
Yes.
stuff like that. Yes, yeah. It was
So that changes your tactics, winter versus summer, as
Yes.
far as the fire.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. It just seems to me personally, in the cold, it's a little harder. You got to worry about ice, slipping on ice. You don't have your footing. I mean, just things that you don't think about can make a difference in the winter. And I'd rather be cold. Being cold's not very fun. I'd rather be a little too warm and then cold, because when it's 20 degrees below zero, like I said, things just don't work that well. Your hands, feet.
Basic thing.
Yeah, basic things in your dexterity level and stuff when you're cold is not the best. So
Have you been injured on fighting fires, or helped
Nope.
somebody who has been over the years, or?
actually, there might have been some minor things, but as a rule of thumb, no, we've been pretty lucky. I mean, I think, like I said, we try to have a pretty good plan and keep everybody as safe as possible. I mean, there's always things can happen, obviously. I mean, but I want to say that luckily so far things have gone really well for us. So in that aspect.
So Ben, I'm going to be naive here, like on TV. In this day and age, do firefighters still sleep at the fire station, or with technology as it is, that doesn't happen? Or
So, yeah, I mean, we still have a duty crew. I mean, Troy would know better than I would, but the duty crew still sleeps at the fire department, and they'll respond to calls. I mean, they don't just respond to fires at this point, so they're responding to medicals and different stuff like that.
We're just getting busier. The ambulance is running more. We're running more with the ambulance. So yeah, our call volume has gone up a lot.
And you are there over, a crew is there
Yes.
overnight.
We have 3 shifts of 3 that work, so we'll be there for 24 hours, and then the next crew would obviously come in the next day, and so yeah, we're there 24 hours, so we were always there to respond.
Do you still enjoy working with the public? Because I would think these are, when you're meeting with people, it's the worst, or one of the worst experiences if they're having a really big event, fire. That's really hard. It would hard to be enjoying it. I don't know. That's not the right word, I guess.
I think people are appreciative when we're there. They know that we're trying to do our best to make things come out better for them. It's doesn't always work out that way, and I think they understand that. But most people are pretty appreciative of us when we're there, and that they know that we're there trying to help.
And so young people, you're a young person. Is there a shortage in your business industry, just like a lot of other industries? We're not seeing a lot of new firefighters, or is that a problem?
Yes, it is definitely a problem. We have trouble getting part-time people to apply for our part-time, like Ben did. There's quite a bit of schooling that you have to do to be a part-timer and to be a full-timer, and people are busy, in their life, and it just doesn't seem like we have as many applicants as we used to have.
There's a great program here at Riverland Community College. proud graduate right there of the
Yeah, yeah.
program.
Very
Is
good
that where
program.
folks should look if they're interested in maybe becoming a firefighter? Like go to a college or something, or
Definitely, I would definitely recommend coming out here. Like Ben said earlier, his EMT, that's a great skill to have. That'll help you get hired at a
Okay.
fire department. And once you graduate, get on a volunteer department or apply part-time and get some experience, and I'll definitely help you if you want to pursue a career in it.
great guys. Thanks for your service. Thanks very much for coming in. Very interesting.
Thanks for having us.
The River Arts Alliance supports regional arts by organizing educational programs, community events, and public projects in the Winona region. And joining us from the River Arts Alliance is Johanna Rupprecht. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Tell us about your work. What kind of things do you do at the Alliance?
Yes, so as you mentioned, our mission is about supporting and celebrating regional arts and culture in the Winona region, including through educational programming, community events, and public art projects, as well as connecting artists with opportunities and facilitating collaborations through among organizations in the Winona region.
Boy, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big mission for a fairly small organization, but we're really proud of the work that we do supporting and connecting artists, arts organizations, and the arts community in the Winona area. We are a member organization as well, and so we have artist members, art supporter members, and arts organization members too.
What about events? Do you oversee any kind of events?
Yes, there are several events that REA puts on over the course of the year. So our next big one coming up is going to be our annual member exhibit and showcase. That's going to be an in-person exhibit at the Blue Heron Coffee House in Winona, in which any of our members, our visual artist members, can submit their work to be exhibited as part of that. That'll be taking place over the month of June. We also, starting last year during COVID, we pioneered a virtual member exhibit as well. So people can also have their work displayed online, and we're going to be doing that aspect of it as well coming up this summer. In the fall, traditionally we've done on Labor Day weekend Family Art Day in Winona, which is a great event for kids and families. It's drawn historically over 500 people to come and do various different arts activities with member artists that we partner with to put that on. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to have that for the past 2 years now because of COVID, but we're really hoping to get back to that as an in-person event this fall, so the first weekend in September. And then we also sponsor the Winona Art Walk and Tour every November, usually the weekend before Thanksgiving, and that artists in Winona and the surrounding area are able to either open up their studios for visitors to come and see what they're doing and buy their art, or there's also a group site where people can exhibit. So those are kind of the three biggest events that we do during the year. We also do more informal gatherings that we call art schmoozes that are just a lot about networking and social time for the arts community to get together too.
For the artists themselves, but the other things you're talking about are for the public to come and see the work.
Right. Yeah, we really try to facilitate those opportunities. That's a need that artists have identified as more of those chances to sell their work and to have those opportunities too.
Are the artists, most of them, this is a sideline for them, or are they like dependent on making sales in order to sustain themselves?
Yeah, I'd say there's a range within our membership. There are some people who are professional artists who do that as their main work. There are many who do it, either as a retirement activity or as a side activity as well, but definitely a range.
And any or all can be part of this alliance?
Yeah, we have a lot of visual arts members, but also more broadly than that, we have musicians who are members, poets, writers, at least a few dancers, filmmakers, theater artists. So RAA started as initially more of a visual arts focused organization, but we've been really trying to broaden that and look at the arts as a larger category and including all those options.
So when you have an art display there might be a dancer there, or not? Probably
Yeah, that's
not.
something
I
we've
don't
been
know.
trying to figure out how to be more inclusive of that. With the online exhibit, that's one way that people can include videos of their work. So that's great. We're also looking at how we could have maybe readings or performance elements as part of our exhibit and showcase this year. That's still, the plans are still in the works, but yeah, we're also thinking people could display their poetry on the walls along with the visual art. So that's something we want to include too.
Oh, that's ambitious. That's interesting. I never thought that a dancer would be part of an alliance, but that's great. Where can people find more information about what's coming up?
So our website is riverartsalliance.org, so that's a great place to check. We are also on Facebook and Instagram at River Arts Alliance, and we do publish a weekly newsletter that comes out every Monday morning. So if people would like to sign up for that, you can do that on our website, just down at the bottom of the homepage. And that's a great service that tells you about various events that will be happening, especially in the Winona area, in that upcoming week. So one of the services we provide for members is to publicize the events and opportunities that they have going on in that way to the community.
Very informative and great organization. Thank you, Johanna,
Thank
for
you.
coming in. Johanna Rupprecht, River Valley Arts Alliance. The River Arts Alliance. There's a valley there, but it's not part of the name, right? All right. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us on Cue for KSMQ Public Television. I'm Eric Olson. See you next time.